Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. And again, today I'm your co-host, Mike Bailey. And again, here with me is...
Ellen Diplacido.
I was,
Good
I was,
morning.
I was wondering whether you were going to chime in there, Ellen, or not. Okay. Hey,
Kind of quiet, wasn't I?
yes, you're right. Hey, last time we talked about one of your favorite topics, which was vertical gardening, growing up on some kind of support, pole beans, vining peas, tomatoes and cucumbers and winter squash and all that good stuff and all the nice reasons to help make gardening easier and more productive and less disease.
Healthier.
Healthier, yes. Thank you for the word.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
today we want to touch on another subject that you really kind of enjoy or you think is really important because it helps to do some of that same stuff, doesn't it?
It really does.
It
Yeah.
really
We're going
does.
to talk a little bit about no-till gardening. It was
No,
something new that I learned a couple years ago.
but really this is
No-till.
no-till. But it's not a new concept. People have been doing this for years.
Not really.
But it's just kind
Right.
of now getting into the home garden site. Okay, scene, home garden scene, maybe. Okay, and there's not a whole lot of people, at least in our area, that were familiar with this particular concept. But I think I remember a book years ago called Lasagna Gardening. Do you remember that?
I don't remember the book, but I have looked up lasagna gardening, and I kind of use it as the same as no-till. It might be a little bit different, but I don't think there's
Okay.
a big difference
You're right.
in the concept.
And the other day I went on to the website, and maybe one of these times we're going to show everybody or tell everybody how to do that themselves because this is a wonderful way to find information on your own. But I found some nice articles from the University of Nebraska, University of Southern California, and Cornell University. So
Right, Cornell.
And I know you looked up some things also. You said you had something from
I found some from Ohio State and also from Michigan.
Okay, fine,
Michigan
good.
State.
So we got some good articles from some really good sources, and I mention that because I want everybody to know that the topics, most of the topics that we present here. Okay, we just don't shoot from the hip. We try to go in and find good information and pull out the little pearls of wisdom, if you will, okay, and kind of present to you. But the concept of no-till gardening is pretty simple, isn't it? Okay,
Right.
You have a plot of ground, whether it's a raised bed or a mounded bed or even in a regular garden design where it's kind of level with the ground. And it's a matter of what? Layering organic matters.
Layering organic material.
Organic material. And then leaving it in place.
Right.
Not-
Don't move it around. Don't dig it up. Don't turn it over.
Yes. And when I'm talking about layering organic material, what are some of the organic materials that are available to us at Emmaus, say?
Well, right. We use our chopped up leaves. We use our grass clippings, straw. Sometimes we add a little mulch, but basically with our grass clippings and our leaves and our straw, we don't really have to go out and look for, store-bought mulch or anything like that because that's basically what we're doing with our natural organic material that we have right there.
You're right. One quick word about grass clippings, though.
Right.
Our grass clippings are from a lawn, okay, that has not been treated, okay, chemically.
Right.
Now,
Right.
if the lawns are only treated with fertilizers, that's one thing. Those are still okay. But if they're treated with herbicides or insecticides or something like that, no, please do not transfer those trimmings to your vegetable garden. Those chemicals do not break down real easy, and what you don't want to do is you don't want to transfer those chemicals to your vegetables. They might have an effect on the plants and on the fruiting itself. So be careful about that.
Right.
But otherwise, a lot of stuff available locally, is very good for that garden. And so we use, I think everybody probably knows, we use a lot of raised beds down at Emmaus.
Uh-huh.
And how do we create these no-tills?
Well, we try to start the fall before. I mean, the best thing to do if you're going to go into no-till gardening is if it's possible to maybe start the year before you want to plant in one of those no-till, and we start by just adding these organic materials and not turning the soil over anymore. Just let it set there. It will what do you call it? What's the word? It breaks down.
It starts to decompose. You're right.
Yeah, it decomposes and it adds all that natural organic material into the soil, which it adds the nutrients and allows the insects and the worms and all that to live in there.
You're right, because what these articles talk about is one of the primary things that they emphasize is the importance of the biological activity in the soil and trying not to disturb that. Okay, so you got your worms and your beetles and you got your bacteria and you got your funguses all working together. But when you dig that up or when you till it, it kind of disturbs that and it sets back that whole biological process, okay, more than you want it to. And that biological process that's taking place underneath that soil is very important to your plant growth. So if you just allow that to stabilize, okay, and then you add these layers of organic material one on the other, etc., and then when it comes time to planting, your tomatoes, your peppers, your eggplants, or whatever, you just move that apart, open up a little bit, dig a little bit of a hole, put that tomato or pepper plant in there, and bring that back around, and all that organic material, okay, after you've watered that plant that you just put in, that'll keep that moisture in there. Okay, it'll certainly
helps with the moisture.
Helps control the moisture. Helps moderate the temperature of the soil. Helps weeds. Keeps down the weeds. Okay?
I was going to bring that up. You basically there's no weeding.
There's no weeding
basically in a no-till bed.
You're right. So
very, very, very little, if any. Yeah.
Yes. So I encourage everybody to try. And again, we're running out of time. I'm sorry about this. Okay, maybe we'll touch on this a little bit more in our next session. Okay, just to kind of wrap up things before we do a little, trip around the yard, if you will. Okay, so thank you for listening today, and hope you got a little bit of information out of this. Thank you now.